What's up, ladies and gentlemen? It's your boy King 053, Mr. Easy Money, covering trending topics from local to abroad. Politics, I'm asking the questions: who's fooling who? Sports, from soccer, boxing, and MMA, I cover it all. Monthly motivational talks to inspire you. One thing for sure, I bring the receipts, so like and subscribe to be part of the movement.
At White Knot Technologies, we specialize in bags, embroidery, branded wear, and screen printing. We provide the finest quality for affordable price and fast turnaround time. We make sure you'll be satisfied with your order. Visit us at 18 Fisher Avenue, Epping.
What's up, ladies and gentlemen? It's your boy King 053, Mr. Easy Money, and we're back at it again on my channel, King Said So. And please, if it's your first time here, consider to subscribe. And this is our Easter weekend, and I want to make some few videos. And I decided, listen, we're always covering the EFF, the ANC, the DA, and we're never really covering the smaller parties in South Africa. And I decided today I want to cover the Patriotic Alliance, where the president of that party is Mr. Gayton MacKenzie. Mr. Gayton MacKenzie is quite an interesting character, a guy that we know his history comes from prison and came out, and I think in 2010 decided that he also wants to start a party. But before we go in deeper into him, I went on the internet and I watched some videos, and I decided, let me cut some few points that he makes that are standing out specifically for me, in particular for me, and that will be interesting for you guys. First, let's start with him on what he thinks about what politicians say. Is he a man of his word? What is he saying?
That as a politician, we're very guarded in what we say, because everybody is a potential voter. So you need to count your words, and any politician that tell you they don't do that is lying. Now, I've got no hope of any one of you here voting for me, so I'll be as unguarded as I can be. And if you are not angry with me after speaking here, then you've not listened to me.
Okay, so clearly Mr. MacKenzie is an open book for us. He's saying politicians need to count their words carefully. They need to think before they talk. So meaning we are assuming that he's a person of his word. So everything that he says, we can hold him accountable for, and everything that he says, we can take it serious, because he looks like a man that does not joke around. He looks like a man that is, focused on his mission. Patriotic Alliance. I don't know why is that a tongue twister for me, but anyway, is a party where him and Kenny are doing a great job. The party is growing. The party is making movements in the background. No, not too much noise like the EFF, but he himself is making a lot of noise. So let's just listen quickly to his thoughts or his comments about illegal immigrants.
I can tell you now as a fact, most illegal immigrants in this country come straight from jail into your house, and you leave them with your daughters and your children. I'm saying it here today, farmers are being killed by illegal foreigners, because you go to every farm, there's illegal foreigners. There's no fingerprints. 90% of you sitting here don't even know the family of your help at home. You go to the Western Cape, there's not a single restaurant where you'll find a South African. Some of you say South Africans are lazy. Let me tell you something. That's a lie to suit yourself. You say those things because...
Okay, so he's got a very strong views about illegal immigrant, and I think he's one person who's got because of his experience in prison and because of his experience in South Africa, he's got a bitter taste or a bitter view when it comes to illegal immigrants. But whatever he speaks, we must listen and take what is the truth. Number one, it is true that in the farm owners opt for illegal immigrants because they want to pay them less. It is true. In South Africa, that is how it is. Myself, I have worked in a farm as a foreman. What do you call a foreman? Like a site supervisor. And I know we had a problem with opening bank accounts for some people, not far here, just 30 kilometers from Kimberley in Richie. And South African born people without any papers, number one. And I must say at that farm, there were very few people that were from outside South Africa. But I understand what he's saying in terms of that. And the risk also with illegal immigrants that he has pointed out is that these people come straight from jail and they come do garden work in our houses, and they come and do, we trust them with our children. And as South Africans, I know we like giving a lot of people a benefit of a doubt, but it is true. You must just check if the person have got paperwork. You must just check where these people stay. I remember with this other helper that we had, we were just dropping her off in the street. And one day when we went to go look for her, we found out that she actually does not stay in that street. You understand what I'm saying? So it is true. Just make your other. She was a nice person, by the way, and she was sick the time we were looking for her. Found her in a different location, but be careful who you allow in your in your home. And the same goes for the farm workers, because you want to cheat the system so much, you want to pay people less money. You're going to employ people that are going to be a danger to your family. And I don't want to put a blanket approach and say farm illegal immigrants are the ones who are killing all these farm matters that we had. I don't want to say that, because I know farm owners are treating their workers badly. Some from birth, some farm workers that are born at the farm end up killing the farm worker, who are South African, by the way. So I'm not going to put a blanket uh, approach on it. And it is a lie. He said you can go to Cape Town and you won't find a single restaurant with South Africans. That's a blatant lie, Mr. MacKenzie. You can't say that. Use words like most of the people who are working there, or a high percentage. Use those type of words. Don't say we won't find a single South African working at the restaurant. That's not true. But let's just quickly move forward and listen to his views about Nelson Mandela that I found very interesting.
For business. But I've got today, Nelson Mandela is the hero of foreigners and white people only. Don't believe what I'm telling you. Who's still celebrating in the black community Nelson Mandela Day? Not even the government. Go speak to our kids, they tell you he's a sellout. And I'm saying to you today, Nelson Mandela is no sellout. You white people turned him into a sellout. You turned Nelson Mandela into a sellout because he took your word. He went to us and said the Springbok emblem should remain. He went to us and said, you guys must work together. Afrikaners are good people. Look at where we are today. Look at this room. This is the strongest indictment on where we are. This is a business room. You can count 3 black people in this room. And that's how the JSE looks. That's how business looks. We are nowhere. You guys are everywhere. You've not reciprocated as white people what Mandela has done to you. And you can get as angry as much as you like. But the truth of the matter is, if you sit here and you think black people will forever remain in poverty, colored people will forever remain in poverty, you are making the biggest miscalculation of your life. But your children are going to pay for that.
Yes, and when it comes to Nelson Mandela, it's a very sensitive topic to South Africans, because Utata, we see him as a hero, who brought us to freedom. And but when you come to the people who are born in the late 80s and the 90s, and obviously the 2000s, when they look at the economy and they look at their situation, they start to think back and say, but What is it that Mandela was negotiating? Because we even put him at the helm, or at the helm of saying he was the one who was negotiating with the white people. And Mackenzie is right. The the Afrikaner people really broke Mandela's trust. He believed them too much, to the point that he was blind in negotiating to say these people will give us the power. These people were never interested in giving black South Africans the economic benefits back. They were interested in handing over the government power, but I don't know, by that time when Mandela was there, when Thabo Mbeki was there, when ANC was still hitting over 80% and they could change the constitution and all that, why they did not take the land at that time? Why they did not take the minerals back at that time? Why didn't they make it difficult for the public, your Oppenheimers and your Ruperts and all of those guys, take the tax higher, so that it becomes difficult for these people to continue to gain wealth out of our minerals? I told you guys the beers in Kimberley. Kimberley was one of the biggest hubs of diamonds. It is now almost non-existent. Only small scale small scale mining is happening because De Beers has left. And you know, when De Beers leaves a place, it means there is no more diamonds. Well, there's no more diamonds worth of excavating out with the amount of work you need to put in to get those diamonds. So De Beers has left Kimberley. Kimberley is undeveloped because of De Beers. De Beers has looted trillions of rands out of Kimberley from when they came here up until last year, 2022, and they left Kimberley with nothing. They are now in Johannesburg. Their headquarters is there. They are no longer in Kimberley. They are no longer mining diamonds in Kimberley. They just left us with their office building. I think they donated that to the municipality or something. So, um, yes, Mr. Mandela really gave us a big, gave us a way in terms of trusting the white people, thinking that they will also, in good faith, give some of their wealth back. They will never do that. And when we look at Mr. Gayton MacKenzie, one of the biggest controversial statement he made was about switching off the oxygen machine from oxygen machine on a foreign person, an illegal foreign person. Let's just quickly hear what he said there.
Mayor MacKenzie, you wouldn't actually turn off the oxygen of a patient, though, regardless of where they're from. I mean, is that not just rhetoric? You wouldn't physically turn off the oxygen for a patient and let them die, surely.
And I would do that. As a government official, I'm supposed to do that. If there's a South African and a Zimbabwean, and the Zimbabwean or the Mozambican is on oxygen, and here's a South African citizen born and bred in South Africa, I will turn that off as a leader and say, because that's my duty to look. During Afghanistan, when there was war in Afghanistan, we saw the U.S. jets coming in, only taking U.S. citizens. Children were hanging on the plane. And I never criticized the U.S. government because that's what government's supposed to do. So your answer is yes, I would turn off that oxygen so that the South African can live. And in Zimbabwe, if there's a South African is on an oxygen pipe, I will never criticize the Zimbabwean leaders if they turn off the oxygen for South African, because we have hospitals here. We've got budgets here. What is he doing there? He must have made...
For me, I don't know why him saying that did not make even international news. Like, you remember the MEC of Health in Limpopo when she went to the hospital and she was conjunctivitis in wat is nou skel, said no, die vrou mens geskel, wat is skel nou in Engels, when she was shouting, let me just use shouting for a better lack of a better word, interrogating type of shouting, the Zimbabwean lady, I think she gave birth in that hospital, or she had some type of medical issue, and she was on the hospital bed, and she was saying, listen, go back to Zimbabwe. Who's going to pay for this? That made a lot of news. But now this guy is saying, I will go as far as switching it off. I will go as far as switching off the oxygen machine. That is one of the most heartless statements any leader can make. A leader must never make such statements. It broke my heart when I heard him say that. I was like, man. When you are right in your wrong. Do you guys understand that phrase? You are right in your wrong. It means you want to do something for what you want to do a wrong because you believe you are right, or you want to do a right because you believe he is right in saying he wants to protect South Africans, but he is wrong to saying he wants to go the length of killing someone to protect South Africans. Let's be honest, guys. Or is it just me? I'm too sensitive because I like my especially my Shona people. You can't switch off. When you are in politics, at the back side of your head, the thing of the black agenda and the one Africa, one land, one Africa, one language, one Africa, one currency must always be ringing here. You don't know where you're going to be in the future. If I'm Zimbabwean or I'm whatever, I will never welcome such a person with such philosophies in my country, because I know my people or the Zimbabwean people, they don't leave their country because it is fun to do so. It is not nice crossing that river of crocodiles. It is not nice crawling under the borders, the fence, the razor fence of the borders, as a mother carrying a child, or as a pregnant woman, or as a father leaving your family behind and saying, I'll be back, I'm going to make some money, I promise I'll send something back. And you get politicians that make reckless statements like this. It is very disappointing that MacKenzie even says, if they switch off the machine for a South African in Zimbabwe, I will not criticize them. No. One Africa. Where's the Ubuntu-ness in our leaders? Our leaders must show compassion to other people, empathy, And I was guys, please go in the comment section and tell me, would you switch off an oxygen machine? Would you switch off an oxygen machine? Because we don't know what's going to happen in the future. God forbid South Africa gets in a war with, I don't know, Russia in the future, 20 years from now or whatever, and many South Africans start fleeing from South Africa, going to Namibia, Zambia, Botswana, and Zimbabwe, and Mozambique, fleeing because maybe they are bombing our country left and right, people are dying, and we start fleeing, jumping the border, going next door, and the next thing we are sick that side, and they switch off the machine because we are illegal immigrants. You use your brain, man. Use your brain. You can't do that. But let's just listen to his and again another statement that he made about apartheid and white people. You know what? This is for me. This statement is bigger than what Vusi Thembekwayo said when he said the apartheid government was better than the current government, meaning the police of the apartheid were better than the police of today. What Gayton MacKenzie said, to me, it was even worse than that. Let's just quickly listen.
For how long must white children pay for the sins of their grandfathers? I am standing here in front of you to tell you, some person must come out and be brave enough to say tot hiertoe en nie verder nie. Some person must come out and say, we are not going to kick this can down. Some person must come out and say, we are dealing with this issue now and will forever have peace. This is how we're going to deal with this issue. Let us scrape, and that person is standing here in front of you today. I'm lifting my hand up and I'm saying I'm going to deal with this thing. Let us scrape white, black, Indian and colored. Let us be henceforth known as South Africans going forward.
Yeah, you see, when you ask, let me try to be respectful as possible without, insulting Mr. MacKenzie, Gayton. Colored people are the last people to be clapping hands to such a statement. Was my colored mensen, as jullie hier in de groepen, gaan go op die comment section sê me, as jullie hier, stem jullie saam. As jullie trots op wat meneer Gayton MacKenzie say, or what are you guys saying? Coloreds are the last people in South Africa to be clapping hands to such statement. When you ask us black people, you ask us, how long will the white people, the today's white people, keep paying for the sins done by their grandfathers, their forefathers, until they give back everything? That is the starting point. Starting point number two. Point number two. They white people are not apologetic of their gains in apartheid. Look at what is happening at Orania. Look at what is happening at Kleinfontein. I did a video about Orania and Kleinfontein. Scroll down and check my videos and go and check it. One beautiful video just to show you that the racist white people are still here in South Africa. Number colored people, you guys, you can't clap for such rubbish. You are where you are, you as coloreds, because of what white people did to our ancestors. Why am I saying that? We know that colored people came about rape. They don't want to hear this. They don't want to acknowledge this, but it is the truth. Otherwise, where does colored people come from? Number one, colored people don't speak any African language. I'm not talking about the Khoisan people here this side. The Khoisan people are not colored people. Don't confuse the two. It's not the same. Colored people is when a white man, back in the apartheid days, saw a Xhosa nice figured woman with some juicy ass. And it's like, "Jere toch, ek kan mos daai boetjies loop eet." And he raped her, obviously out of her will. Out of her will. Because at that time it was taboo for even a black person to be in one place with a white person, never mind in one bed. Raping our black sisters, after raping them, disowning the child completely. You see? So now, what that child loses, in that time, they would even chase away that woman because she will give birth to something that we are not used to. What type of hair texture is this? What type of skin color is this? Are you white or are you black? You know, colors, they like to choose when to be black or when to be white. And when they want to be victim, they say, no, we are not black enough or we are not white enough. That's what they say. So for me, seeing colors clapping for when will white people, until they explain why colors you lost the most. I don't care who says why. I believe you lost more than black people. Why? Your tradition. What is your tradition? What is your surname? Where is the colored land? Where are your forefathers? Who are your forefathers? You see what I mean with colors? Colors don't have a designated land where we say this is colored land. They're always in like Eldos, Soweto and Aldos. Eldos is actually part of Soweto. But because colors are always scattered to the sides, it looks like Eldos is its own place. You go to any black community, any location, any kasi in South Africa, you find black people staying here, colored staying there at the back. Very small majority, they've got their own hood. Killing each other, stabbing each other in Cape Town there. and shooting each other, very violent people, because I believe their spirit is troubled. Now, you as coloreds, some of you, you don't know who your forefathers are because of what white people did to our black sisters back in the days, our Zulu women and our Xhosa women, our Tswana women, our Sotho women, those who stay close to the coast sites. And then you find children born without a lineage. Then you find children getting Afrikaans names. You find children getting Afrikaans surnames. You find children with even today you look at most of the Xhosa people are carrying Afrikaans names, but luckily they kept their tradition. Colored people, they can't speak Xhosa, most of them, even if their great grand or two generations are far, the grandfather was a Xhosa, they don't know how to speak Xhosa because colored identify themselves on their own. Let me tell you something, colored people, you are black. We say, Dr. Uma Johnson says, one drop of black is black, because black is a superior gene to any other culture. Black is the only race that can give a birth to all colors in the world. Light skinned, dark skinned, very black skin, very light skin, albinism, whatever. Color, the black race is the only gene that can do that. Go and check your facts and come back to me. So I'm not happy with you colored people clapping hands for this thing, because I believe history has stolen so much from you. The Afrikaner people have stolen so much from you. I would even, if you don't adopt one of the African languages, I would even get some linguist people like myself. I love languages, and start a new language. I don't know what you will call that language, and start a new and breathe new hope for the coming generation. You can steal some African words and form, just like Africans, like the Afrikaners did. You can steal some words from different languages and form your own, so that colored people can have an identity in South Africa. Because you guys, I'm telling you, my heart breaks for colored people. And you ask, I've got so many, I stay in Kimberley, guys. So Kimberley, Afrikaans is our first language here. And unfortunately, I come from Pumalanga. I moved to Kimberley years ago when I was still in school. So Afrikaans here is the first language. Everyone speaks Afrikaans. If you are born in Kimberley, you can speak Afrikaans. There's no other way. So you find that colored people, you ask them, so actually, where do you come from? Who are your grandfathers? Who? And he said, no, actually, my father's father is Tswana, or my father's father is Xhosa or whatever, but he can't speak Xhosa. You understand what I'm saying? I hope I made my point clear. So let me from he's a good South African story to tell. It's your boy King053, Mr. Easy Money. Please, guys, consider to subscribe, like if you like the video, and share it if you want to. Thank you so much. Until the next time, I salute you.